There are only about a handful of conjoined twin horror films, so it's not really surprising that some, if not all, would end up with similar themes. If I asked you to name the film where conjoined twins that share a telepathic bond are separated by a doctor because one is deformed, the deformed twin then feels betrayed and rejected, becomes evil, and plots to kill the doctors and anyone else that stands in their way, what film would that be? Well, depending on what kind of horror movies you're a fan of, and probably your age, you're either going to say Basket Case or Malignant, and neither answer is wrong. My name is Ariel, and I'm going to quickly discuss the cinematic parallels between Basket Case and Malignant. First, let's get into a quick recap. Basket Case is a grimy, low-budget exploitation horror comedy that takes place in sleazy New York City in 1982. It follows Dwayne Bradley, a quiet young man who arrives at a rundown Times Square motel carrying a locked wicker basket he refuses to let anyone touch. The basket contains Belial, Dwayne's deformed conjoined twin who was surgically separated from him as a child. Together, the brothers go on a revenge mission to hunt down the doctors responsible for the operation. Dwayne falls for a woman who works as a receptionist for one of those doctors, but Belial becomes violently jealous and kills her, pushing Dwayne to finally see how out of control his brother has become. Moving on to 2021's Malignant, which is an over-the-top pulp horror thriller that seamlessly combines supernatural mystery, body horror, and action. The film follows Madison, who starts having vivid visions of brutal murders, only to realize the murders are happening in real time and she's somehow connected to them. With Madison as their prime suspect, detectives begin to close in, but the investigation eventually reveals a dark secret from her childhood. It's revealed that Madison had a parasitic conjoined twin named Gabriel, who was thought to be surgically removed years ago. The part of him that remained is connected to Madison's brain and can take control of her body. Gabriel has been using her as a host to hunt down the doctors that wanted him gone. By the end, Madison fights back inside her own mind and tries to regain control to keep him locked away. Now, these plots sound different, but essentially, Malignant takes all the same themes as Basket Case and kind of just juices them up. Both films, I would say, create a fun and over-the-top experience while exploring themes of otherness, rejection, jealousy, and revenge. The separated conjoined twins are the biggest, some would say only, similarity between these two films, but because the twins are heavily tied to the plot, the films do end up sharing the same beats. The evil twin setup is slightly different between the two. Belial is fully removed from Dwayne, while Gabriel is only partially removed because he's connected to Madison's brain. Even with that difference, both films lean hard into body horror, with Belial as a small, surgically removed legless lump and Gabriel as a surgically mutilated tumor-like lump. And of course, both twins also possess superhuman strength and abilities. In both stories, the monster only exists because of medical intervention. A doctor decided one twin was less normal than the other and therefore didn't deserve a life. That rejection is what turns them into the vengeful killers that they are. It's also not surprising that makes the main targets in both movies the doctors and anyone involved in the removal. They also lean into shared consciousness and blurred identity. Belial and Dwayne's connection is truly telepathic, while Gabriel and Madison are literally linked because they share a brain. But the outcome is the same. The normal twin is stuck with the other one. No pun intended. Dwayne can't really escape Belial because they can find each other through their thoughts, and Malignant takes it even further by making Gabriel medically unremovable. And even though one is external baggage and one is internal baggage, both twins spend most of the movie concealed, with Belial residing in a basket and Gabriel inside of Madison's skull. Finally, both films use the main character as a front-facing mask for the real killer, with the audience gradually realizing how involved they actually are. Dwayne moves through the world as the normal one, but he's complicit, transporting Belial and enabling the murders. Madison thinks she's only having visions, but the twist reveals she's been Gabriel's vessel the whole time. Both of these films lean heavily into their over-the-top fun and often silly plot and characters. They both don't take themselves too seriously, and I highly recommend both for fans of fun horror movies. Basket Case is a cheesy 80s movie, not as cheesy as I like them, but still pretty up there. Malignant is for fans of movies that will make you question what the hell you just watched. I mean, it starts out as a pretty basic scary movie and then it turns into a wild ride, and I do not mean that in a bad way. I recommend it for the police station exploitation scene alone. Now make your way to the comments and let me know if you agree that Malignant could be a modern reimagining of Basket Case. Don't forget to hit subscribe and stay tuned for my next video where I discuss all the cinematic parallels between the 80s horror comedy, The People Under the Stairs, and French exploitation horror, Frontiers.